So, perfect, Sam. That was helpful. All right, what is hospitality?
Service with a smile.
Service, okay.
Being a good host.
Experience.
Treating others the way you would like to be treated.
Providing a welcoming place.
A memorable experience.
Kind of a strict mind.
Service and experience.
Can I say treating with respect?
Treating with respect.
Pretty close.
That's treating others how you want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
Because all of us want to be treated with respect, right?
Friendly.
Friendly, okay. I like it.
Excuse me.
What else?
Helpful.
These are great. What else?
Accommodating.
Hospitable.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the same word.
No, not the same.
You got to define it without using the word.
Accommodating.
Accommodating, okay.
Southern.
That's one kind. Satisfying.
I don't know. I would throw
Okay.
something against the wall.
All right, I like it. So, where does hospitality start?
At the door.
Starts
Yeah.
when you get out of bed.
First 10 seconds.
When you wake up in the morning, you can decide if you're going to be hospitable or not.
That's actually true.
I know.
You know
I
why?
know it's true.
Because if you bring your problems to your area, then it
Mhm.
affects the whole team.
Leave it at work. I mean, not leave it at home. At home.
My husband has a story. One of his bosses, he came to work one day, and his boss, he was getting coffee in the break room, and his boss goes, "How's it going?" And he goes, "Terrible. I'm having a horrible day." And she goes, "You know what the good news is? You can change it anytime you want to, because it really is. It's all up here. Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. When you get up in the morning, if you decide you're going to have a bad day, are you going to have a bad day?
Yeah.
Yup.
So all of these things that we're doing for each other, service, experience, welcoming, we're doing for our guests, right? We're trying to say, hey, that we want them from the moment that they park their car, the moment that they call, the moment they get on the phone, all of the experiences of them walking to our front door, walking into the building. That's what hospitality is. Hospitality is these things, right?
Can I add one?
Yep.
Acknowledging.
Okay.
Acknowledge me.
Tell me what service means.
Service
Mm-hmm.
I'll use the word serve.
to
To give
Pro-
of yourself.
provide someone
To give someone the
something of
experience.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a
Something of
value. So when people eat with us, what are they trading?
Trading,
Money.
well, yeah, money for
And-
the product.
Money and time. So money plus time equals a value, right?
Value.
So their time is them waiting for their food in the dining room. Their money is the money that they're spending with us. And all of that, they're trading that to be able to be with us. And they don't have to. I mean, you guys work hard for your money. When you leave here and you go eat somewhere, you want to have your money and your time equal the value of what you expect when you get into that building, right?
Right.
When you come in. Yeah. So I would say, where does hospitality start?
When you wake up.
True.
You
But
copycat.
where do you think hospitality starts? At work?
With your attitude.
Depends on your attitude, yeah. All right.
I'm pretty good for these. Yeah, you know.
Hospitality with the front would be the front counter, but hospitality for the kitchen would be with.
So are you talking like a physical location, or are you talking about?
It goes.
Well, you gotta break it down. Are you talking about like a physical location, or are you talking about like within your own dimension, like within yourself? Or
So
you-
who can you control?
Me.
So hospitality starts right here. Everybody say that. Hospitality starts right here. Right here.
Starts with
So
me.
if I say,
I knew that.
you know what, they don't look like they have any money, I'm not going to be very nice to them. Am I being nice? Am I making it about myself or about them?
About them, you're judging, profiling.
What if I say, That customer is rude to me, so I'm going to be rude back. So I can't control what he does, but I can control what I do. I had a customer call me, or actually, he gave us a 1-star review, and I can't remember where it was at. It was on some way that I was able to contact him. So it was a weekend. We're closed on Memorial Day, the Saturday before Memorial Day, and we're closed on like Thanksgiving. And I don't always remember to put it on Google, and he didn't see it on Google. He's really mad. He shows up here, we're closed, and so he gives us a 1-star review. Get your stuff together. He used some colorful words to say it. And I came in to work, and when I read the review, my first thought was, well, that was really rude. And then I thought, how can I turn this customer around? So we have a 3-part response to people complaining. Thank you so much for letting me know. I really appreciate you letting me know that. Because people want to be what?
Appreciated and valued.
Valued. They want to feel valued. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm going to address this. I will take care of it. What can I do to make you happy? Can I remake it? Can I give you a credit for next time? And if they're just a total piece of work that needs like some extra prayer, I'm going to give you your money back. Because their time and their money equals value, and I want to make sure that they feel like they've been valued. So it's always, thank you so much. Can I remake it for you? Can I give you a credit? It's always that response. Do I expect us to be perfect? No, but we're going to learn from our mistakes, right? So if today a lady came over and she goes, my burger's not cooked all the way from this event. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm sure that was just a fluke. Can I just take your plate? Would you make a new one? And she's like, yeah, sure. And it was over. It was done. We had 100 burgers, one a little underdone. So what? I'm not heartbroken over that. Okay? We did a really good job. So if it starts right here, if hospitality starts right here, then that means that I get to choose how I behave. So that guy that sent that message immediately took that 1-star review down and let me know. He said, I'm really sorry. I just having a bad day, and I took it out on you. And it was because of my response. Like, hey, I really appreciate you pointing that out. Instead of, I've had a response where I said to somebody, look, we're having a bad day here. I had a couple cooks call out, and we're doing the best we can. And she just laid into me. She didn't care. Your position is not my responsibility, is basically where she was coming from. And she's not wrong, because she's trading what?
Value and
Her time and her money for value. And it doesn't matter if I'm, like, we were kind of stressed out today, and we're trying to get all the food out. Guess who knew in here? No one. They had no idea. They were happy, everything was great, food was wonderful, they were thanking us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, now think about this. Who's our customers?
Everyone.
So in work, if these are your work buddies, I'm not going to give you guys black hearts. Give everybody red hearts. If these are work buddies too, it's not just our customers that we are giving hospitality to. We're giving it to each other too. We need to be mirroring back and forth. And when it comes to, I wrote this down today. So the burger. Burger came in frozen. Everybody presented Christian with the problem, but nobody said what they needed until we're in panic mode. So I wrote this down because I was like, I think we should write this down and put it up because this happens an awful lot. My husband used to say, I would say, hey, the trash needs to be taken out. And he'd go, okay. And then a couple hours later, I'd be like mad at him because he didn't take it out. And he'd go, but you didn't tell me you needed it taken out. You just said it needed to be fixed. I didn't know I had to get up right then and do it. You didn't give me a timeline. So speak solution, not problems. Starla, when you come in and you're frustrated because day shift, whatever they've done, are you saying you're frustrated about the problem, or are you speaking solutions? Hey, before you go, can you make sure you check the trash out? Before you go do that, can you make sure to fill this? When we're frustrated and we're just presenting the problem, other people can't read our minds. Does that make sense? Day shift, you come in the door and we're out of something, and then you're frustrated because Christian didn't order it, or whatever. Be specific about what you need. We have to be specific about what we need, otherwise we can't help each other, because we're all just walking around thinking that everybody's reading each other's minds. And also remember, not everybody is going to hear you, and not everybody's going to understand what your need is. And don't get mad because they didn't understand, or they felt like somebody else was giving them a direction that they had to focus on first. Does that make sense? How much of what makes people feel valued at work?
Thank you.
Giving grace, saying, oh gosh.
Feeling heard.
Praising each other on
praising
things
each
that they're
other.
doing. Even when we're having a bad day.
What did you say, Christian?
Feeling heard.
Encouraged?
Being heard.
Oh yeah,
Being heard. I'm glad that you repeated yourself because I didn't hear you.
I like how she was
And please hear me on this.
Respect.
I called many of you out just now on things that happened today, and it wasn't meant to be like an attack. It was meant to be every one of us are having these communication problems. That's why we're having this meeting, because we're having these communication problems, and a lot of it is, have you ever heard people say that I am really unaware of what I look like on the outside, but I'm very aware of what I'm thinking in my brain. So I give myself grace because I know what my intentions are, but I'm not aware of my face. I'm not aware. When Bill and I we're having a rough time, and
Somebody's saying
Dayden,
hello or something.
Dayden's not in here.
He's probably talking to Craig. They were talking about the meeting.
I know. I told him to come in here until he gets a customer. Walter, would you go find Dayden real quick? When Bill and I were first, we were having a really tough time in our marriage, really, really struggling, and I started reading this book about being respectful. Shanti Feldhahn did this study where she looked at men, or she questioned anonymously a bunch of men, and she said, would you rather have a wife that loves you but doesn't respect you, or a wife that doesn't love you but respects you? Did I say that right? A wife that loves you but doesn't respect you, or a wife that doesn't love you but she respects you? Which would you rather have?
Respect.
And most of the time, it was a really high number, like in the 90s, that men would rather be respected than loved. And so I'm talking to my pastor's wife about it, and I was like, okay, I understand that Bill needs to be respected. I'm kind of trying to get what this means for me. So where do I start? Because I grew up in America where love is unconditional, respect is earned. So I need to understand what that means for guys, because I want to be able to communicate with him better and be a better wife, and so that we can, have a better marriage. And she goes, well, it starts with your face. And I was like, that's gonna be a tough one, because Bill will go, he'll ask me something, and I'll go like this, and he'd be like, what's your problem? And I'll be like, what do you mean what's my problem? I'm listening. I lifted my eyebrows. That's all I did. That was disrespectful? Oh man, we're gonna have a hard, there's gonna be an uphill climb the whole way. But I'm thinking, go ahead, sorry. It's what?
So for me, and this is how I was raised, but it's all about the presentation. So it's not what you say, it's how you go about saying it that matters. It's the delivery. You can be getting your point across, but if you're saying it, or I feel that energy, then I'm automatically gonna be on back pedal. Like, okay, she's coming at me this type of way. I don't really like the way that she's coming at me, so then I'm gonna react a certain way, and then boom, and she's just like, why is he acting like this? And then it just goes into like whatever chaos. So,
Yeah. Agreed, 100%. So one thing that I've learned is us women, when we go up into this range, it's very disrespectful, and it increases the guys' blood flow. I'm not saying that we as women are responsible or men are responsible. I'm just saying we have to be aware of our behavior. So guys, not all of you are the same, but some of you might be. You stonewall when you don't like things. So you put up there's the wall, you're no longer talking, and we can no longer communicate with you. And it's like, I heard the statistic that once men's heart rate gets over a certain point, their body goes into a fight or flight mode, which is their protection mode, which is a natural space for them to be at. And that's when the wall goes up, especially because they're trying to protect the person that they are engaging with, because if I allow myself to continue in this direction, I'm probably going to do something that I regret later. And so it's a natural response, not that it is helpful, especially when we're having conflict, but I understand it more than I ever did before. So I always say, make sure, check the energy, check your body language, and then wait until the energy comes down to have the conversations, because Walter, if you're mad and I'm like, let's go talk right now, you're going to be like, I don't want to talk to you right now because my heart rate is up and I need my heart rate to come down. Otherwise, I'm going to punch you in the face. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're giving each other the grace and the space. Now, that being said, who are we in control of? Ourselves. So if you're going to punch somebody in the face, it's not their fault. It's your fault. Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
trust
I've
me.
learned that before. Yep.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I almost hit my ex-boyfriend with a car because,
Whoa.
yeah. So no,
I didn't expect that.
yeah, it's yeah. So there are no. Trust me, I'm not poking or. I'm just trying to help you guys get to a space because there is something that's happening in our establishment where there's a lot of it's not fair. I think inside it's not fair or it's frustrating because I'm dealing with this and you don't understand and I've said it to you and you're not changing. But if somebody isn't doing something or if you're having a hard time communicating with them, there's a lot of things that are going on that's causing that to happen. But I look at every person in this room, everyone, and I happen to really like everyone that works here. And I want everyone to stay here. And I really think that we can get to a place where that everyone feels the same way about each other as I do about you. Because that's what we need, is we need to do what? Hospitality starts here, right? So you are all my customers. Internal customers. Yeah, we get people that come in and buy a burger and they pay our bills and they keep our lights on, that's fantastic. But the internal customers,
Yeah,
we're
it's
the
more
reason that we're still
important,
working.
Yeah, that we're getting along inside then.
We have to learn how to get along with each other. We have to learn how to communicate better. One of my favorite phrases is, would you be willing? It sounds so much better than, hey, I need you to go do that, or Sam, go get that garbage. Sam, would you be willing to go get that garbage? My husband, he's like, okay, every time, because he's not going to tell me I'm not willing.
Right.
He's going to be like, yeah, I'm willing. I want to go do that for you because, and it makes it feel like it's a choice. We are created as free beings that like to have choices. We don't want people telling us what to do. We don't want anybody to be demanding. We want to feel like, hey, it's my option if I'm going to do it or not.
And if you ask me that way, then I can come back and say, can I do it in 5 minutes? Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Can I finish what I'm doing?
Kimberly asked me to do this first. Can I finish that first? You know what I mean? Yeah.
You have to repeat that.
Oh yeah, you got it in the camera. Say it again. You said that gives you the permission.
When I'm asked if I'm willing to do something, it gives me the opportunity to counter with, can I do that in 5 minutes, or to, say what my terms of the agreement are.
Exactly. Perfect. Love it. Good. Okay. So now, hospitality starts where? Right here. Right here in our heart. So out of your heart, you're having a bad day. What comes out of your mouth?
Negativity.
Anger.
So that's why I put the heart, because I wanted you to realize that hospitality starts in your heart. So when you start your day, I always say to myself on my way to work, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a really good day today. Because I can't even say those words without smiling. And then all of a sudden, your brain does these really fantastic, amazing things where it starts to create these endorphins telling you that you're going to have a great day. So some of you have seen this before, but you're getting it again. Dr. Joe Dispenza did this mind map, and I absolutely love it, and I want you to understand it, because how do I get my heart to be in a good mood? It's by my thoughts, right? So everything starts in your brain. Your thoughts swirl around, and they tell you if you're having a bad day, they tell you if you're mad, they tell you if you're sad, they tell you if everything's going great or not. And your thoughts are what drive your behaviors. If I'm having a bad day, what's my behavior look like?
Pretty crappy.
Slamming stuff around, yeah, snotting at people and being cranky and feeling like everybody's out to get me. Which becomes, did I do that backwards? No. Which becomes your choices. So your behaviors, you are 100% in control of who? Yourself. So that becomes your choices, which then just drives. So if I say I'm having a bad day, this day sucks, I'm having a bad day, slam stuff around, being cranky and angry, what's going to happen? I'm going to start driving my experiences to match what my thoughts were. See, I was having a bad day. See, that guy cut me off in traffic. It's his fault. All of my experiences are now going to be I'm just having a bad day, which ends up driving my emotions, which actually creates my thoughts. So your brain, you're laying in bed. You're getting ready to go to sleep. You're laying there, and all of a sudden, you think about, oh my gosh, I forgot to order 100 burger buns for tomorrow.
Fired.
You open up your eyes. Open up your eyes. Physically, you start feeling this tingling sensation in your body. Your heart rate goes up. Your brain starts producing hormones and proteins and all of these things to put yourself in this fight or flight mode. And you actually experience fear, even though you're laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep. So your brain is in control of everything that you experience. And if you are allowing your thoughts to drive your behaviors and your choices and your experiences, then your brain will actually create the emotions to match what your thoughts are. And you have 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
And 90% of them are the exact same thoughts you had the day before. Everybody wakes up in the morning, they turn off their alarm the same way, they put their feet on the same side of the bed when they're getting out of bed, they brush their teeth, they brush their teeth the same way. That's a real thing. They take a shower the same way. They drive to work the same way. Sometimes I get here and I'm like, oh, I don't even know if their lights were green. Because I was on such autopilot.
Oh, yeah.
And they say that nerves that fire together wire together. So your brain, you're doing the same pathway, same pathway, same pathway, same pathway. That's why 90% of your day is exactly the same as the day before. And if you say to yourself, I want to live a different life. I want my life to be different. I want to have different experiences. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to think this way anymore. I don't want to behave this way anymore. But 90% of the time you are. You're not changing anything. So not getting too into the Bible, but I mean, God tells us take every thought captive. And I think that there is absolute truth in that. It's saying that when those thoughts come. One day, I was driving in my car, and I was leaving here. We had had something happen, and it was a really bad thing, and I was going to buy some stuff at the store, and I'm driving, and I'm upset, and I'm just feeling all the pain of the upset, just really angry with myself, and then I just realized that I needed to say the words out loud that I was saying in my head. And so I started saying it out loud. I was like, you're so stupid. Everyone thinks you're stupid. No one likes you, and you're so dumb. And I was like, why am I talking to myself that way? Man, I'm the biggest bully in the world. So I started talking back. I was like, you're so stupid. No, I'm not stupid. I didn't realize. Everyone hates you. They don't hate you. They're going to give you grace. You're beating yourself up more than anybody else is going to. Everyone thinks you're stupid. Nobody thinks you're stupid. They're still here, right? It's okay. We make mistakes. I had to start rebuttaling the way I was thinking. And then every time after that moment, after I realized what a big bully I am for myself, I started grabbing those thoughts. Like I was intentionally grabbing them. Every time they come in, you're dumb, you're not good enough, you don't have value. All of those thoughts, I was grabbing them and I was going, that is not true. And I'm going to replace it with something that's good. Because I have to change something in here. Something has to change in order for me to change this cycle and get off the crazy train that I'm on. And I also started making different choices. So I started driving to work different. Sounds stupid, but it actually works. Nerves that fire together, wire together. Wait, why are we going this way now? Wait, something's different now. Something's changing. All of a sudden, I'm building new neurological pathways in my brain because I'm just making some new choices. And they're driving my experience so that they'll be different, so that my emotions will be different, so that my thoughts will be different. These things help you. Brush your teeth with your left hand. There's the boy with the broken brain, Jim Quick. He says brushing your teeth with your left hand does amazing things to your brain. And I just wanted you guys to see this because sometimes we go to work and we go to work and we go to work and we're on the cycle and we're going to work and everybody's doing the same thing. They irritate me and they keep doing the same thing, and it's a lot of it is we're just living the same day over and over and over again, and we don't have to. We have a choice. I'm going to have a great day today because hospitality starts right here. And I'm going to make sure that I am hospitable to everybody that I work with today because it starts right here. It starts in my heart. And then that's going to, like it's going to project. I don't know if you guys can feel it, but when I say I'm going to have a good day, I feel it emanating off of me. And when I say something nice to Jimmy, and Jimmy smiles, and he's like, he starts having a good day too, I see someone that watched it happen, feel it. And they actually statistically can study that. Dopamine is created in your brain and that person's brain when you're nice to them. And if somebody witnesses it, it's created in their brain too. So we have this possibility of hospitality starts with me, starts right here, of changing this entire establishment so that we're all really happy to be here. And then it'll pour out the doors into our customers. And they can't help themselves but be like, I feel like that place gives me value. Because nobody cares what you sell, they care how you make them feel.
I really like that. I don't want
That's
to.
beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Sam. I'll pay you later.
Mic,
Okay, anybody have anything to add? You want to add something?
Yeah, I want to add something. Go ahead, Ashley.
Just a
Ladies
movie.
first.
One of my favorite movies. It has a lot to do with a lot what
Here, you gotta
say.
take the mic.
It's called. It's really not that important, but okay.
Super important.
One of my favorite movies is Warm Bodies, and so all these zombies are dead, right? But then one zombie falls in love with a real life girl, and they all get affected by it, and so they all start to feel, and they all become and get flesh, and they all want to like be
Get back
alive
into
again,
humans.
you know.
I like it.
Oh, you got all the girls over there crying.
Nah, yeah,
That's
it's
what
all
happens when the
feelings.
estrogen is all in one area. No, that was good. That was really good. I think that's really powerful, a lot more than people realize, and I really appreciate you bringing that up. One thing I wanted to bring up is what's a good way to do that in the flow of the day? So, for example, when things get hectic like they were today, so the question would be, how can I know it's my attitude, but how can I show that to someone else?
So when,
You know,
okay,
Well, I'm like
so what I did,
internally screaming. you
yes,
know, you
when
know what I mean?
when my husband and I were just trying to repair our marriage and get to a good place again, and the whole respect thing, I said to myself, I'm going to be intentional and give my husband compliments. And so I actually put alarms in my phone, because that's how terrible of a wife I was, to remind myself, compliment your husband, compliment your husband, compliment your husband. And honestly, compliments do wonders. So when you are having a day and you're feeling anxiety cannot exist in your brain while gratitude is in there at the same time. So you go, that's a little stressful. Ashley, thank you so much for hanging up those tickets. Man, this is really stressful. Allison, thank you so much for writing on the boxes. This is kind of stressful. Dayton, thank you so much for working on the fries. And then also make sure, biggest thing is that I see is we're not asking for help. We're just thinking I have to bear it on my own. I showed you it today. Walter walked by and said, hey, Walter, can you help me out? I need this. I'm not leaving the line. I need you to help me. That's the big thing is we want to help you. Everyone wants to help you.
I asked for help too today.
Good. I'm proud of you. So I think that what we should do every week, we should have this conversation. This week, we're gonna which one of the values are we gonna focus on? So this week we're gonna focus on thank yous, and everybody is gonna put an alarm on their phone if they're like me, and they're gonna say, I'm gonna compliment and thank somebody
Oh,
four times
she
today.
actually said thank you to me
Good.
this morning, Ashley, when I cleaned up your mess, and you said thank you. I didn't expect you were gonna say that. So, shouts out to you.
I try to say thank you about everything, and I used to have an employee that'd be like, why do you always thank us? It's my job. I go, because I want you to know that you're valued. And so I practice it. You will notice it now. You're all gonna know my secrets. I use the would you be willing all the time. This is actually called motipulation, just so you know. It's where you motivate people to be the best versions of themselves where they think they did it themselves. And you're going to see the would you be willing, you're going to see the thank yous, you're going to see all the things that I do, but all I'm trying to do is just help you guys be the best thing that you can be. That's what I want, because I know that at the end of the day, life has been really good for me. I want it to be good for you.
Thank you.
That's it. Okay, well, that's all. Thank you for the meeting.
You ended
Oh, no.
the meeting, Stephanie.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, it's really important to me. I wanted to record it because I want every staff member to watch it, and I'm going to keep teaching it because I think it's really important. So I really feel like every week we should have a word of the week, and I'll try to intentionally put it in the group chat.
Well, I feel like we do this too, like hospitality.
Don't drop it.
I feel like we do this too for hospitality. It's not just because we're being hospitable, but the real reason behind it is that we care. Like, we care about people. So like, if you come into that, so thinking about what you're saying when you're getting flustered and stuff, if you come in thinking about, okay, I'm doing this because I care about this person, I care about the people I work with, how would I respond to them, even if they're being jerks to me? Like, I care about them still, so I'm gonna try to be the best I can. Like, it's not gonna happen every time, but with that mindset, when the only person I have really trouble with is Dayton, but because he's my brother,
your brothers.
because he gets under my
Your
skin. But
brothers.
then I realize, I come back to him like, yeah, I shouldn't have acted that way. But like, I know that we're all stressed. Like, things are gonna get taken out of context. People are gonna say things that probably are gonna hurt a little more just because everything's going. But at the end of the day, they're trying to figure it out too. So you have to understand, you kind of have to go through the suck together of that moment.
Yeah.
One of the
My-
reasons I love being in the food industry, I have to say this. So one of the reasons I love to be in the food industry is because, and Stephanie has experienced this, I love feeding people, because feeding people, you are supplying them with something that helps them survive, and you think of hangry and it's a real thing, but that person's walking out and you're changing their attitude because you're feeding them and it's giving them nourishment, but it's also something that helps them survive through the world. And so if we incorporate all of these things that she's saying, you're also nourishing their mentality rather than just their bodies. So you can change their step in the day.
Okay, so like today, super busy. Ashley's running back and forth. Everything's happening here. There's 2 customers that waited up front for a bit. Not saying it's your fault, just that's what happened because we're all busy. So I stepped up, and I could tell they weren't super impressed, whatever. They ordered food, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch and see if they leave a tip. Not because I wanted a tip, but like, I'm gonna see how their mood is. And they didn't leave a tip, so I figured, okay, they're kind of upset. And that's kind of the vibe I was getting. So what I did, the simple thing, is I got some of the cheesecake cookies, and I said, hey, have you, like, while you're waiting, have you guys tried our cheesecake cookies? And then they're like, oh, thank you. And the whole mood just changed. And it wasn't because I was like trying to sell them something, to make them like us. It was, oh, okay, they're obviously upset. So like, what can I do to make them feel better? Like, just in general. And so, yeah, I just grabbed some cookies and they felt better. And then the whole mood changed, and they were okay with waiting and all that stuff. So
I feel like anybody that's upset is a challenge to me to how can I turn it around? What can I do to turn this around? How can I make this better? I mean, I texted you yesterday. I was like, I want to make this better because I want you to feel valued. And all of you get it. I don't have your phone number, otherwise you'd be getting it from me. But I'm constantly, I just want you to feel valued. I want you to know that I care about you, that the things that matter to you matter to me. You're important to me, and I want to make sure that this is a good place to work. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you all can leave me and I'll be here doing it all by myself, and I don't really want to do that. So, all right, well, that's it.